Grand Rising. I've been up since 2:30 because my cat pooped in his carrier and I had to give him a bath, and then he ruined my body in so many ways. I was dripping blood while trying to wash him up. All right, so the name of the video is, I don't know. I don't remember. You know what's really funny is how quickly I could forget what I'm up to. I mean, I literally typed it in and hit go live and forgot what I titled my video. That's just sad. It's you wasn't one, but you can be with your skeptical ass. All right, so what am I talking about? I'm talking about a post I saw. I cannot remember your name. I think it's Love Human Behavior or something to that extent. Okay. I just so happened to scroll past your post and it said, nah, bro, or sis, I'm not co-collaborating with you. I'm co-collaborating with the universe. If I was collaborating with you, I would have had blessings already. Uh, I don't think you were talking to me, but you're in my algorithm. And one of the things that I say often is that I am collaborating with readers. Um, I hadn't collaborated with you, but we can do it. Let's go ahead. Um, you can ask. There's a reader or two, okay? There's a reader or two, maybe three, okay, that have uh I have their work has blessed them, their lives have changed, there are things that have happened, but it's iffy. I'm not trying to say that's me, okay? But I would say that that comment was very self-centered, very self-centered because the thing is, um, you know how the universe works? I'm sure you do. The universe brings two people together. Um, at times to get something done. And I'm not working with people so they can get blessings. That's not what we're here. We're collaborating so we can make the world a better place. So all of that just sounded real silly to me. I mean, the way I cracked up when I read it, I was like, okay. Okay, well, let's work together. Here. I got something for you. I've watched two of your readings. I got something for you. Okay, one of them was talking about how um something about the kids. Okay, it was talking about how, you know, essentially what it sounds like to me, okay? Um what it sounded like was how I actually I don't think you were talking about me, because what was said was like they didn't even check your children's records and all that stuff. In my children's records, they were actually very sickly. Um, with Aaron kept getting sent home from daycare because he kept throwing up. What did they find out? They found out that Aaron was forcing himself to throw up. He did it right in front of the doctor. He was putting his little fist in his mouth and throwing up because he was vying for attention. Now, the thing is, I spent a lot of time with the kids. Like, even if I was just laying down, I was laying down and playing with the toy, laying down watching a show. Like, there was so much time spent with the kids, but at the same time, it wasn't because I would get off work and I would take them to the park. Okay, I would take them to the park for about half hour. Then I'd go home and I'd cook and I'd clean up, give them their baths. Sometimes we take a bath together and then we go to bed. Okay, why did we take baths together? Because it was fast. Okay, it was fast. Wash up, wash up, wash up, and we all out and we all in bed at the same time. I found out that going to bed at the same time as your child is called overparenting. I didn't know, but anyway, when Aaron was born, I was breastfeeding and he ended up getting thrush. The reason he got thrush is because he bit me. He tore my nipples, and I was taking I can't remember, it was like Percocet, Vicodin, because I had a C-section. And because of that, we both got thrush. We kept passing it back and forth to each other. And then somebody, okay, somebody knocked over his medicine, and it was $100. I either had to pay $100 to get it again because his insurance wouldn't pay for it, and because nobody could give me the money, not his dad, not my dad, not my mom, nobody could give me the money. And I didn't have it. Okay? Hey, man, quit it. Quit. Because I had to wait 3 weeks to get his medication. Nobody would give me the money. And so we just kept passing thrush back and forth for like a month and a half. It's terrible. It's the worst. You ever had thrush on your boobies? It was terrible. Natanya had chronic ear infections. I mean, chronic. Now, the state of our house, we lived with the slumlords of Columbus, okay? There were, there are still are. I've lived in multiple of their properties. I had one property I lived in, had roaches even though I was cleanly. And it just, oh my God. So we moved to a nut when we were living in the apartment that my cousin let me stay in. Theirs was full of black mold. Call. Nobody ever came to fix it. And then on top of that, we had this big ass fucking tree in our front yard. And it just dropped pollen everywhere. I mean, pollen be all over my car, pollen be everywhere. So she was chronically sick. She had like allergies. Um, and then she would get ear infections real bad. Right. So I heard a reading where you were saying that the 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 person, in question, they didn't have these things in the records, but my kids did. But it was because of our living situation was terrible. It's terrible. The mold, I was chronically sick back then. Like, I think about myself now, I don't get sick nearly as much as I did back then. Even now, Aaron still gets sick a lot. It's so frustrating. There's a few reasons for that too. I run my heat way too high. So when he gets outside, listen, you already know what it is. You already know what it is. You're not getting out. It is not 6 a.m. It's not happening. And I'm going to clip your claws this today. Not getting out. So anyways, Aaron still gets chronic, like Aaron is sick often. When he started school, he got every fucking illness known to man. Seems like. He didn't actually miss as many days of school as I thought he did. Oh no. That first year kindergarten, he missed like 12 days of school. In fact, truancy sent me a letter. We didn't get in trouble for truancy, but they did send me a letter. And then last year he only missed like 4 or 5 days. This year he's missed 2. He got an ear infection. Like, the ear infection thing is such a thing. And it's because my heat, like right now, my heat is on 76 degrees. Okay. If it's 19 degrees outside and you walk outside from a 76-degree house, I think it shocks him. Like, I think that's why he gets sick so much in the winter. And so I'm trying to, earlier it was lower. It was at like 73, 72. I turned it up because I had to open my windows because the other cat pooped in his carrier this evening. That's why I'm up. I'm up because he pooped in his carrier and I had to clean him, get him clean. I am destroyed, dear. I have scratches on the, like, oh, when you get a paper cut in the middle, it's right here. Oh my God. Oh, in the middle of your webs. Oh my God. I have two very deep scratches in the middle of my fingers. Oh, I've got, it's more than that. Um, I'm tore up from floor up. I was bleeding profusely this morning. And now I can't sleep. It's been, that happened at 2:30. But yeah, I wanted to, it's not really a collaboration. We're just speaking on the things that I heard that are opposite of what my reality was with the children. Also, one time, Natanya, the thing is, I think that there were certain things that were going on. Like, I think that, yes, there were some factors, like I said, there was pollen everywhere because of a particular tree that was in our yard, and we have black mold. But there was something that happened. Natanya went to the doctor because her stomach was hurting so bad. And they said that she had a blockage. Now, um, they asked me if she eats cheese. I was like, yeah, maybe she eats too much. So I had to clear her intestine, right? And but she had told me that every time she went to her dad's house, all she ate was mac and cheese. So though they were getting sick and stuff, a lot of it, I feel like he was doing something. She got pink eye so much, but I was very cleanly. We're still very cleanly, Um, he would say things to me like, take a shower. Now, there was one apartment I lived in where Natty could access the door, and one time she had got out. Um, like I was in the kitchen, she walked out. So it was the easy thing. But once I realized that she could do that, I stopped taking showers when she was awake because I did not trust her little butt. So sometimes he would come pick her up and I didn't maybe smell the best, but it was because I would wait until either she left or nighttime to take a shower, and he might catch me in between that time and be like, you stink, you stink. He was constantly telling me I smelled bad. Sometimes I didn't. I just looked disheveled or anything because I'm home all day with a 2-year old. You know what I'm saying? And so, but we were very cleanly. Like, they were always clean, but then suddenly she would have pink eye. She got pink eye so many fucking times. I swear to you, this man was e- either having her touch herself and then touch her eyes, or because it just didn't make any sense how often she got pink eye. Okay. And like I said, she had the blockage where I had to clear out her intestines, and she told me that the only thing that she was eating when she would go to her dad's house was mac and cheese. But when you're the parent that's constantly taking your child to the doctor, it looks like you are making this child sick. She also got rashes, like rashes down there all the time. um Again, and then he would tell me like, you need to teach her how to wipe herself, but I did teach her how to wipe herself. She's young. um she's young. It took me a long time to, that the feminine body is very complex. Okay. So um you can tell, and children don't listen, so you could tell them and show them how to wipe themselves and they'll still do it wrong. It doesn't mean I was neglecting her, and she would keep getting rashes. But the thing is, when I left, I came back for Jeremiah's birthday in 2019. She had a rash. a really bad fucking rash. I mean, it was terrible. And, I tried to nurse her back to health before I sent her back. But what I'm saying is, any issues that she had weren't a result of me, it was something he was doing. And then the issue with Aaron, because Aaron was throwing up, Aaron was forcing himself to throw up. And in his record, it said neglect, but I wasn't neglecting them. I was just one person. Like, I gave them as much attention as I could give them. I was with them. Aaron was literally a hip baby. Aaron would be with me all the time. Natanya would leave. Aaron didn't leave often. Sometimes he would go with my sister for a little bit or something, but he was with me like all the time, right? And we would just sit there and I would play with him. We'd sleep together. We'd go to the park, even though he's really little. you know, we did things. It's just that I didn't have any time. I was working 40 hours a week. Like I said, I would take them to the park after I would get them. And then I would take them home. Natty would be sitting at the table every day. um, the wall that I have right now, going up the stairs, it's all Aaron's artwork. Natanya's artwork is up there too. Other children, I have a nephew that has artwork up there. Children from the neighborhood, their artwork is up there. Birthday cards, all types of things are on there. And I was about to start that with Natty. Natty would come home every day after I took him to the park, and I would be cooking, and she would sit and she would do some art. And I had a big stack, and uh, I had started putting them on the wall, and I was about to make a wall just like I made here. And that was all that we could do. I would get them home by 6:30. They would be fed by 7, bathe, and we'd read a book, and that was it. That was all. That's all that I could give them. It didn't mean that I was like neglecting them, because I wasn't. I was going to work. They're in daycare. Daycare does not provide individual care. And in fact, several times, not even just with them, even with Jeremiah, because Jeremiah went to the same daycare when he was little, and they would tell me things like, my child is spoiled, they always want to be held and shit. One, that's because when I would get home, now with Jeremiah, I worked 12-hour shifts. And there's something I forgot, but okay, so when I first started my job, when I had Jeremiah, my cousin watched Jeremiah. But the thing is, I watched her child when she was working. So I didn't really see a problem. One day I came and she wasn't there. So I put him into this daycare. Okay. Um, and they told me that I held my child too much. But I work 12-hour shifts. Like, I'd be gone from 7 to 7. So as soon as I get home, the only thing I'm doing is holding my child. And they would like complain that he wants to be held. Well, he wants to be held because I'm at work for fucking 12 hours a day. 10, 12 hours, depending on, what I could get. And ironically, this is when I actually met my biological brother, the one that works at the bank. We met at that job. He was a supervisor. He came through. I didn't know he was my brother at the time, though. You know what I mean? So, we're not really collaborating here. I'm just telling you a little bit about some things that I heard, and it's like, no, I actually did have these things in their records. I did, but it's not what it looks like type shit. It's not what it looks like. It's not what it looks like. But that's the whole point. They created this narrative that I was neglectful when I was working a 40 plus work week. The only time that I could get with my children was 2 to 3 hours a night. And half of that time was spent making sure they're fed, making sure they're clean. Like, they really only got like 30, 40 minutes worth of play on an average. Now I have the weekends available, but on the weekends I do the same. Like, nothing about me is really different. You know, I had the same routine of trying to get the laundry done, doing our hair, and usually I would do our hair on Thursdays because Natty goes out on Friday to her dad most times, not all the time though. He changed things a lot. But he we would do our hair on Thursdays, and then I would try to do laundry on Fridays so that I could like just lay around, hang out with Aaron or whatever. Nothing about me is really different. It's just that they definitely tried to make this narrative that I was neglecting the kids when literally I was one person. We got to bring that up. I am one person. It's very easy for children to be neglected, um, because when you're doing the stuff that you need to do to take care of them, they're not getting that playtime that they need and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? One person. But then they would also say things like I'm dirty, and that is something that's changed about me. Okay, I wasn't dirty. Here's what would happen. 2112. I would when me and G would split up, and this specifically with G, something that only ever happened with G. When G and I would split up, I would like completely collapse. I would still go to work and stuff, but I couldn't clean. I couldn't really do anything. And so, um, it's like funny when people talk about the character development or anything like that. Because like 2, 3 weeks go by, now suddenly my house is a little dirty or whatever. And not necessarily dirty, just unkept. And so I would clean my house when he'd come back and stuff like that. And that was one of those things that I would tell him over the years. Okay, we split up for a little bit, but you came back and look, my shit's still together. um, my shit's still together. I didn't fall apart. I didn't fall apart. I was growing. But it's not like it was my house is always filthy. My house is always dirty. It was never like that. I was more clean than I was dirty. And I think a lot of people try to like there's people that live in filth, you know what I'm saying? There's people that live in filth. I was never one of those people. I take after. Remember, my grandmother, I was up my grandma's ass, and one of the things that she was very cleanly. Okay, I wanted to be like my grandma, so I was very cleanly. It does not mean that I didn't have moments of like a depression house or anything like that, but you would never catch me being in a depression house for a month, 2 months, 3 months. I can't live like that. You know what I'm saying? 2 weeks tops. You know what I'm saying? And we get it clean. It's all crystal clean. It's nice. But they tried to use this narrative that I was filthy when I literally never lived like that. The person who was filthy was actually my cousin. Okay, and I lived with my cousin, and I would have to like clean up. I couldn't function. It's literally it was in my documents. I could not function living with her because I would be so stressed by how filthy she was. Okay, now it's been several years. She may not be like that, but the last time I was in her home, she was like that. I expressed that she had a plethora of flies, gnats, all types of things in her house, and she didn't really have a problem with that. She literally lived like that, but I did not. So it was like really annoying to hear the projection that I was not cleanly because that's all I've ever been. We just have these episodes of a depression house or whatever, maybe for a couple weeks. But I would always, especially now, uh, that was one of the things that I would like. Um, you know, be happy with, gee, I didn't fall apart. My house is still clean, Of course, now it's a lot easier to keep it clean. I have an 8-year old, not a 2-year old, I have a 8-year old, not a 3, 4-year old. So it's far easier now to keep it clean. Like things don't get out of order. We don't have diapers. We don't have certain things that, you know, he doesn't have little baby toys everywhere and shit like that. And he can organize his own shit. Honestly, when you have children, that's half the battle. You know what I'm saying? Of keeping a house clean is they can't do shit. You know, they can't do shit. So if she pulls out every single toy in her 50-gallon storage box, then, you know, good lord. Good lord. There was another thing he would do too. He would say that I neglect her because he would like give her a toy that she's not even really into. He gave her like this little dino thing. Where's her toy? Where's her toy? I don't know where her toy is. Where's her toy? Did you let her play with it? And it's not like I wouldn't let him give her things. It's just that she's not interested into. He gave her flashcards. Now listen, she was 3, 4 years old. Okay, he gave me flashcards that were telling time flashcards. Now, what can I do with that when I'm still trying to teach her numbers? And then say I'm neglecting her because I didn't use the flashcards, but nobody else knows that they're time telling flashcards and she doesn't know her numbers fully. Um, and then you'd be like, oh, well, why didn't she know her numbers fully? Because I'm at work. She's in a regular ass daycare. She's not in preschool, you know, and they do teach them things, but some daycares don't, and they're not necessarily the best, and they're not education focused. You know what I'm saying? And I went with the one that was closest to me. Um, so I randomly I'm on this subject because a reader had a post that said they're not in collaboration with me. Well, I don't think they were really talking about me, but it was just funny because it is one of the things that I say that I'm in collaboration with readers. Um, but that's really it's ordained that way, and it's for whoever it's supposed to be with. I'm not in collaboration with every reader that I listen to. Um, and it's not really them I'm in collaboration with. They were brought to me with a message that I'm supposed to clarify. In the beginning it was anybody. It would be like cues, right? Sometimes they would post certain things and I'm supposed to speak on whatever it is that they posted. I'm waiting for cues. I'm waiting for ammo. Some of your collaborations aren't necessarily because like for instance, some of the people that have, you know, some of the people involved aren't on the internet anymore. They're gone. They're not on the internet anymore. They say something, and then I'll get my cue to say something that makes them realize, oh, wait, I'm not supposed to be here. You know? Sometimes that's what the collaboration is. You were brought into, okay, all right, look, 20 minutes. I'm giving you 20 minutes. Go. Go. It's not like I'm about to go to sleep anyway. I'm up. The day has started. Um, the facts are I wasn't in collaboration with you. Um, I feel like it was to me only because there was these mentions of these health records, and ironically, my children did have thrush, and my children did have ear infections, and but it wasn't for the reasons that you think. They literally deprived us of the money to get the medicine for somebody knocked over his medicine. Somebody knocked over his medicine, and then nobody anywhere. We couldn't between You know, I had like $50. I just needed $50 more. His dad couldn't give it to me. Tanya's dad couldn't give it to me. And of course, he's not obligated to give me medicine for my other child. But all I'm saying is, out of all the people around me, we could not gather up $100. That shit was on fucking purpose. Okay. And it didn't happen. Thrush doesn't come from not brushing your child's tongue, by the way. And excuse me, thrush is yeast. Okay. And it came from him biting my nipple, but he wasn't really biting it. It came from improper latch, actually. Improper latch. And the reason he wasn't latching properly is because the hospital gave him, even though he was being breastfed, they gave him a pacifier. So to affect his latch, he bit me, caused a laceration on my nipple, and then I was taking, I think it was Percocet for pain, and it caused a yeasty environment. That's actually how he got it, not from, you know, using it. And I had tried so many different things. Aaron, poor Aaron. I had tried other methods to try to help him until I could get the medication that he needed, but they intentionally kept me from being able to get the medication. Like they all did, all of them. None of them could come together to try to help me get the money until I got paid. I got paid in the middle of the month. Money's gone. Shh. Money is got. Stop. Stop it. I don't need cleaned. I don't need cleaned. I don't, no, you're gonna mess up. You're gonna mess up my hair. Stop. Anyway, they didn't, between all of us, nobody could come up with $100 to help. Ow! You did that and that hurt me. Go on with your life. Go on with your life. Go. Oh my God. Um, Between all of us, nobody could come help me come up with $100 to replace his medication. But somebody knocked it over, and I feel like that shit was intentional. So, you know, uh, thank you for your work. Like I said, I only ever watched 2 videos from you. And it was just funny because it is something that I say that I am co-collaborating with readers, and then your response is, I'm not co-collaborating with you, I'm co-collaborating with the universe. That's the thing. That's how the universe works. It works through people. I found that to be like a very egotistical comment that you made there, whether you were talking to me or not. It's just that I happen to say that here and there, you know, and we're not out here. If I was working with you, I would have got blessings. Well, you weren't working with me, and you still aren't. I'm just telling you some shit that I heard in your reading, though. And, you know, if my sister's church, okay, which my aunt used to go to that church too. She had 2 churches she went to. She went to Rhema and she went to CCC, okay, and my sister goes to CCC. What I did not like about her church was that it was blessings based. Like everything was about blessings, blessings, blessings. If you do this, you'll get blessings. If you do this, you'll get blessings. And so to think that um, someone's collaboration with you is supposed to bring you blessings, it's just like kind of a weird, it's kind of weird, a weird theory that if I was working with you, I would have seen blessings. Why? What makes you think that? You know, that was very self-serving, sound like to me. I'm not trying to like I'm never trying to talk down on anybody. I'm just saying, why would working with someone, why is your expectation that working with someone would bring you blessings? Knowledge is blessings, in my opinion. Like I've said before, knowledge is power. I'm not here to be polite, okay? I am actually very polite though. And I why I'm hungry now. My stomach's growling. Why would you think that working with anybody is supposed to bring you blessings? That sounds quite transactional and egotistical. I'm not saying that you're egotistical. I'm just saying that's the sound that you're putting out here. That's the vibe you're putting out here. Is that um, working with someone will bring them blessings. You co-collaborate with the universe. Well, the universe consists of nature, people, animals, you know, the earth, the air, the wind. But the thing is, the universe uses and moves through people. So, um, you weren't collaborating with me. I wasn't collaborating with you. But let's see what happens now that I peeped that. Let's see if you get your blessings, because that's what you expect if you work with me, is to get blessings. And I don't even. But you might get some power. You might get some, energy. There's something that can come from working with others. You know, it doesn't even make that comment. Just, I'm sorry, it rubbed me the wrong way. And again, I don't think you're really talking to me, but it's just. I can't with him right now. I can't. Oh my god. The fuck. Oh my god. Okay, I'm coming. Come on. Come on. It just didn't make any sense. Like, the universe when you're aligned with the universe, right? It brings you people. It primarily. I mean, it could bring you other things, but like, let's talk about. Okay, you want an opportunity, right? You want a new opportunity. Who's going to provide that opportunity for you? I mean, of course, you can get an opportunity through yourself, right? But a job offer is offered to you by a person, um, right? So somebody passes away and you are granted some money and it's a blessing. It came from a person. The universe uses people. So that statement was just a real arrogant, egotistical, self-serving comment. And it rubbed me the wrong way. It rubbed me the wrong way. So now that I noticed it and now that I peeped it, let's see. Let's see if some blessings will come your way. Because now I've used one of your readings to talk about something. All right? I'm starting my day now. You have a good day.